my name is Otillia Hoops, and today I'm going to show you a few ways on how you can save your hoop from the dreaded drop. So the first thing is hoop size, especially if you're just starting out. The most common thing is to have a hoop that goes up to your belly button or higher. Yes, mine is smaller, but take into mind that I've been practicing this for a lot longer. So if you are first starting out, definitely get one that's going to be a little higher than your belly button. And everyone is different. It's also going to matter about tubing. I'm going to make a video about that later, about different sizes, different tubings, and the different uses that we have for all the myriad of types of hoops that we have out there. But for today, you definitely want a larger hoop. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few ways to save it when it's on your body. And then I'm also going to show you some ways of how to pick it up without having to bend down every time. And this is to, prevent injury with the back, not going down right and all that stuff. And you can make it a cool trick. So you can be like, meant to do that. All right, so let's get started. I'm first going to start with the on body. Now, by this time, we should have warmed up and are ready to go. So I'm just going to dive right into it. So the first way is probably the easiest way. I like to call it the booty slap, but it's not really that, though it kind of looks like one. And so when the hoop is on my body and I feel that it wants to start going, I actually want to stop the hoop with both my hands. I stop the hoop with both my hands by putting it by my sides a little downwards. So right there, okay? So when you first start doing this, the hoop's going to fall. You're going to probably do it really fast to try and catch it and hold on to it. And you can try this a few times in different areas. This is also to get used to catching the hoop and having the reactive forces that's needed in your hooping journey. So we just practice that a few times. This is also a great way to practice your opposite current, which is going to help support your dominant side. This is very important to keep ourselves balanced as well. And then later on, if you feel super comfortable with it, you can do a one-handed stop. And this one would be the side in which the current is going to. So in this case, my current is going to my left, so I'll use my left hand to stop it. I can also turn my body with it to kind of not make it like a super abrupt stop that might be bad for us, and we can make it a little bit more stylized. So I like to kind of catch it and turn towards the side, and then I can go to my other side and do the same. Then you can practice your one-handed catch and also practice both currents of the hoop. If you're not comfortable with one-handed, just go back to two. There's nothing wrong with that. We're all on our own journey and then in our own pace. Great, so that is just with our hands. Now let's step on to doing it with our actual body. So this is going to take a little bit more thinking and teaching your muscles at first if you're not used to hula hooping. So we basically going to talk about the first one, which is called the shimmy. And this is what it looks like. So my hoop's here, it starts to drop, and I shimmy it back up. I'm going to show without the hoop so that we understand what our body is doing. I'm going to show it from this side and then from the other side so that you can see the difference. So what happens when I'm hooping back and forth and my hoop is starting to fall, I'm going to change the direction of that I'm pumping. So now I'm pumping back and forth. I'm actually going to go down a little bit with my knees, bend them a little bit, and I'm going to go side to side. I'm going to shimmy. This is going to be a little faster. While I do the shimmy, I come back up and then go back to my back and forth. So from the front, going back and forth, my hoop is dropping. I'm changing the direction of my booty. Yeah, side to side, super fast, and bring it back up. And you can practice this with your hoop at first if you find that you can't really do it. And so we'll go through that one more time. We'll do it from this side. We're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh no, our hoop is dropping. We're going to go side to side, side to side, side to side, and up. Side to side, side to side, side to side, and up. Okay. All right. Now let's try it with the hula hoop. I also would suggest to do this on both currents, right? Once again, we're teaching both sides of our body and getting both strengthened. So my hoop is going to drop, and I'm going to shimmy side to side and bring it back up. Shimmy, 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 bring it back up. A few things to look out for if you find that you're not able to do it, is to make sure that is the way that your body is moving. So you might still be stuck in this one, trying to bring it back up instead of your side to side. Because the side to side, what it's doing, it's kind of bumping the hoop up, right? Whereas this one is just kind of going the back and forth. Another thing, also incorporate your two hands. So if you're trying to do the shimmy and you feel like you can't do it and it's not going, go ahead and stop and try again so that we can stop the drop. Getting used to that reflex of when it's falling to either use our bodies or when it's falling to use our hands. All right. I think another way that can help people is to actually turn in a circle, i.e. turning with your hoop. All right. So this is what it would look like. I'm going into my left current, my hoop is starting to drop, and I turn to bring it back up. If you're not used to turning with your hoop just yet, I will give you a few quick tips. You can hoop in this one direction, get used to it. Second direction, get used to it. Back, side, front. After a while, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you're used to that, you'll just do a nice smooth turn, okay? The footing for that looks like this. For the smooth turn, I have one foot stepping out, together, and open, okay? All right, so that is another way to say that when it's on your body. So let's look again. So when it's dropping, I drop it out, so I turn with it. Okay, all right, great. So those are some of my favorite ways to stop the drop. All right, now let's talk about when it's actually on the floor so we can save our backs. I'm gonna angle my computer. Boop. Great. All right, so we pretend that my hoop just dropped. I'm on the inside. There's a few ways that I can get out of this one. All right, the first one is to simply step on your hoop. There's two ways that we're going to learn to do this one. We're going to do it backwards and the forwards. I like to teach this one first because sometimes this one people get easier than the other one. All right, so I have my foot, the ball of my foot, about this area right here, is on top of my hoop. And then I'm going to think about pushing my hoop forward with just the ball of my foot, have my hands ready, and my hoop is going to come up to me. And I'm going to have to bring down. Now, this one, right, I'm inside my hoop when I do this one. I step forward with the ball of my foot to bring it up and catch it. There's another version, is when the hoop is outside of you, when you're outside of the hoop. Same concept, all right? Instead of this time, I'm bringing it towards myself. So my ball is on the hoop. It's pushing towards the ground, and my hoop will start coming up, hopefully. It will start coming up. Whoop. Sometimes having a little bit of momentum is always going to help you, especially when it comes to hooping. All right, so those are two ways from the floor that you can bring it up, when you're inside and when you're outside. Another popular version is when the hoop is outside of you, is to simply scoop it on top of your foot, right? And then I can just bring it up. That's just an easy way. You can also stylize it and jump through it, but we're not talking about that today. Great. So those are some ways that I don't have to bend down to get the hoop. I do want to suggest, if you do find yourself bending down, let's do it safely. I want to have a nice straight back. I'm going to bend my knees, and then I'm going to reach down. And then I come back up with a nice straight back. So none of this unless we're stretching. Okay, great. So those are some ways to save your hoop. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was helpful, please subscribe, share. I would also love your feedback and your comments, or let me know something else that you want to learn. Great. Thank you. Happy hooping, and I hope you get to save the drop.